Brought to you in HD by Hampton Inn and Suites at Phillips Place. Closed caption brought to you by Moosehead Grill, home of Uncle Donnie's national award-winning wings.
The American Legion World Series has become a summer tradition in the Carolinas. More than 4,000 American Legion Post teams across the country compete for a chance to travel to Shelby, North Carolina for the multi-day, patriotic, fun-filled American Legion World Series. Make this great American event part of your family tradition. Learn more at AmericanLegionWorldSeries.com.
We're in historic downtown Lenoir, North Carolina. I've visited the area many times over the years, and I've watched its evolution. I've watched the Main Street program develop, and I've watched the art scene and the food scene grow. But one thing about Lenoir is for sure, there's something about the energy of the area that attracts a lot of creative people. Kyle, I've been coming to Lenoir for many years, and I've watched this evolution, which is amazing. But tell me officially from the Main Street program, what's going on here? How did all of this happen?
Well, you know, it takes a lot of people, a lot of commitment over a number of years to get this kind of momentum moving, and you know, Lenoir's moving in the right direction. We've got a lot of, just a great community and support.
I noticed that there are not many buildings that are empty now.
That's correct.
And what do you contribute that to?
You know, I think there's a lot of people that see the potential in Lenoir, and you know, a lot of these folks that have been here for a number of years have put in some investments, you know, and we've also had some outsiders, folks that come in, they see the arts happening, they see the culture here, and just want to be a part of this community.
Kyle, tell me about the live-work development in Uptown Lenoir. It seems like there are more people who are buying these old buildings and having their business and living there.
Absolutely. That's one of the things that the Main Street program and the folks that have been working on have been pushing as moving Lenoir to the second floor. So getting more people living in downtown, renovating some of these second level of these properties. One great one just was completed just around the corner on Boundary Street. So we want to see more of that.
And I think you have a couple of folk artists who live downtown, Charlie and Susan Fry.
We sure do, yeah. Charlie and Susan are fantastic. They're very committed to the downtown community. Great example of a live workspace with their artist studio on the first floor and their residence up top. It's exactly the kind of thing we want to keep seeing.
So when you look at that type of situation, I mean, it seems limited. Or are there more opportunities for people who want to work, live uptown?
Absolutely, yeah. There's a number of properties that are primed and ready for that type of thing. We've got a lot happening, but we've also got room for growth for those people that want to come and get involved.
Nice. So Charlie, tell me what it's like for you and Susan to be the owners of a historic building in downtown Lenoir, where you're living upstairs and working downstairs.
Well, it's not, you usually think about folk artists being out in the middle of the woods somewhere, but we're right in the middle of our downtown, which is a great inspiration for both of us and our artwork. And we're able to sit on the roof and see the mountains and see the town and listen and talk to the birds. And we don't have a whole lot of yard maintenance, so we paint and we enjoy town and the music. Sometimes we'll sit outside and listen to the concerts on the square or behind 1841 Cafe. Occasionally we'll have musicians in the shop.
Don't need to spend my time at the bar. Don't need no flag to tell me that I'm free. When you've got love, there's nothing that you need. Well, you've got everything. When you've got love, you've got the moon, you've got the stars above. Well, you've got everything you need to be
we love being downtown. It makes our business stronger. It makes it to where this week we're getting ready for a big folk art show. So we walk upstairs, spend time with the family, and then we can walk right back down to work. And there's
So it's convenient.
it's very convenient.
What is folk art, Charlie?
It's art that's relevant to the artist. It's art that is from the artist's heart, and in most cases, it's art by artists that have not had any formal training.
Lindsay,
Hey,
we're in your town.
We are. I love Lenoir.
It's a beautiful place. So now, Lindsay, you tell me what you do here.
I'm the executive director of the Caldwell
Right.
Arts Council.
Right. So you're with the Arts Council, you've got Tucker Gallery, so you've got a wonderful, I'm guessing that having this much public art on display, that's a pretty big deal, isn't it?
It is a big deal. We have over 80 pieces throughout the county, actually.
Okay.
But this is a great opportunity for people to walk in downtown Lenoir and really see some art and be up close and personal with it.
Right.
Well, I think you're going to meet some really wonderful people here who have really interesting stories to tell. Lenoir's got a lot of history and a lot of beautiful buildings. I think you guys should come and visit and see what here is here, because it's full of art and culture and history and music.
Yeah. And good food.
And great food, yeah.
We have a beautiful city here, a historic city, and we're growing every day, and we're just so excited. Our downtown was revitalized. 15 years ago, we kind of went in and changed a lot of the good things in downtown Lenoir, and we want people to come see it. We're proud of it, and we just think this is a place that you'd like to be, you'd like to live maybe someday, and we hope so.
What a great way to wrap up our visit to historic downtown Lenoir, North Carolina. Here at the Shake and Dog, check this out. This is a bacon ranch hot dog. And here, they'll put a donut on top of your milkshake. What a sweet way to end a visit. Folk Keeper Gallery and Antiques in historic downtown Lenoir features some of the best regional folk artists in the Carolinas. Internationally collected folk artist Charlie Fry is in residence year-round. With approximately 20 other professional folk artists represented, you are sure to find something special for your own collection. Folk art celebrates the heart and soul of people. Make your plans to visit Master Folk Keepers Charlie and Susan Fry at Folk Keeper Gallery and Antiques in historic downtown Lenoir, and online at folkkeepergallery.com.
At Morgan & Wells, simplistic style is a hallmark. We enjoy taking care of the details, so our guest can rest. Relax in our intimate spa. Savor the culinary arts and your time at the table. Your seat awaits at Morgan & Wells.
When you're in love, shoes are not required. But something else is. For that special moment, you can count on an original Charles Babb design to ensure a memory that will last a lifetime. When it really matters, visit charlesbabbdesigns.com to set up your exclusive design consultation.
Hey folks, we're in Shelby, North Carolina for a wonderful festival. It's all about mush, music, and mutts. Let's take a look. One thing's for sure, at a Livermush festival, you've got to have lots of Livermush. In Shelby, there's plenty of it to go around. So Jackie, my gosh, this is the big day. Tell us about your festival.
Well, it is a celebration of a regional food found only in this part of North Carolina, but here it's on every menu. We have Sushi Dojo is here, and they have a Livermush roll. It's called the Hee Haw roll. It has Livermush in the roll, in addition to some other foods.
Sure.
And then we also have Max Jenkins and Frank Poirier Livermush here. So there's a lot of different manufacturers if you want to try different kinds of Livermush. And we just like to celebrate it because it's really quirky.
With as quirky as it is, folks are sure excited to get their share. For some, it's a family tradition, and they sure get started young. Folks, look who I found. This is Cassidy. Now, you're George's daughter, right?
I am.
Over at Shelby's Cafe. Oh, George and I go way back.
Oh, well, good.
So, You've been exposed to Livermush for a long time.
My whole life.
Yeah?
Yes.
When did you start eating Livermush?
My whole life, I don't even know.
So
My whole
you were
life,
so
I've
early.
Yes, any kind of way. Straight off the block,
Yeah.
out of the pot,
In-
fried,
any-
thin, thick, however.
You
Yes.
like it all kind of
I
way.
do.
Shelby Cafe has been serving locals and visitors Livermush for a long time, and I bet our four-legged friends are getting their share of it today. Well, Ron, tell us what's going on here today.
We're cooking livermush.
A lot of it,
A
right?
lot of livermush, yeah.
Now, your company's Max,
Max.
right? So you've been making Livermush how long?
Since 1933.
1933.
I look good for that age, don't I?
You certainly do. He's doing good for 1933. So for those of our viewers who are not sure about what Livermush is, tell us what this delicacy is.
It is a liver product, pork liver, and I tell people it's a fine ground, fully cooked, low-fat sausage.
Okay.
The same spices sausage has,
Right.
without the fat, but we
Right.
put cornmeal in instead of all the fat.
Right.
And it is pre-cooked, but
Okay.
people still do go ahead and, deep fry it or bake it in the oven or just heat it in the microwave. But it is pre-cooked. It's already cooked, ready to eat when you get it.
Okay, so you can pick it up at the supermarket and just open the pack and start eating.
You can do that. That's what they done in the Livermush eating contest.
We saw a little of that.
Yeah, yeah. Eating it cold.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
right. So you deep fry it. So
We
is
deep
that
fry.
is that a favorite way
It's
of cooking?
favorite because it puts a crunch on it. It's not
Okay.
the healthiest way to eat it, but it's the best way to eat it.
Okay.
But at home, a lot of times we just put a little butter in the pan
Yeah.
and put it in there and fry it. Because Livermush is so low in fat, it'll stick to the pan. It doesn't make its own grease.
Okay. Okay.
You're high in protein, we're low in fat, low in cholesterol, moderate in carbs, but none come from sugar.
Okay. All right. Some people like Livermush plain. What do you see as being the favorite?
I see with mustard.
Mustard.
Mustard. A lot of people eat jelly. Some people eat mayonnaise, but very few eat ketchup.
Right.
And a lot of people eat it plain.
Just eat it plain.
Eat it plain. Yep.
Okay. So you're in line now for a Livermush sandwich, right?
Yeah, well they are. I'm waiting on one.
They are?
Yeah.
You're not going to have one too?
No, I'm not gonna do that. Not right now.
No?
Not right now.
You're going to have one? Yes. Okay, ma'am. How do you like your Livermush sandwich?
Some mustard on it.
Mustard?
Chili.
Chili? Okay, all right. So mustard and chili.
Yes.
All right, that's good. How about you, sir?
Mustard and chili.
Mustard and chili?
Yes, sir.
You put slaw on it too?
No, no slaw.
No slaw?
Haven't tried it, but I might try it.
Ma'am?
Yes.
All right, how do you like your Livermush sandwich?
Extra crispy with a little bit of mustard.
Extra crispy, a little bit of mustard. Now they're deep frying these. How do you make yours at home?
We don't deep fry. We put it on the pan and just flip it.
Okay, and just flip it. Now, do you do yours for breakfast, lunch, or dinner?
Breakfast and sometimes dinner.
Well, tell us about the area that we're in, this historic square.
This is the historic court square because we still have the original courthouse. Well, the original courthouse was actually a barn, but once they built a permanent structure, we still have that as our backdrop, and it's just a nice backdrop. We have very wide streets around the courthouse, so it's a good central spot, and it's a place that people are used to gathering, so that makes it convenient as well. But we do take up the entire block of the court square and then go another block to the farmers market pavilion and tie in the farmers market with the festival.
So it's a great family event.
It's a wonderful family event.
Jackie, with 15,000, 20,000 people coming to town, that has to have some type of impact on the area, right?
It definitely does. We're seeing a lot more overnight travel to come to the event, to the festival. Now that it's 2 days with the North Carolina Brew Fest and Chili Cook-Off on Friday, it gives people a reason to come and spend the night and then come back the next day.
Okay.
So we're seeing a pretty huge impact from that. But what we really get from having the Livermush Festival is a lot of publicity because people are very interested in a food that's this quirky and crazy.
Right.
And so it's also a lot of advertising and promotion for our area. It says Shelby. It just speaks Shelby to have a Livermush Festival. And it really helps people to sort of feel what our normal everyday life is for a little while.
But it seems to me to be somewhat unique from the standpoint of you have a food event with an animal event. I love that.
It's very unique, but the animal event's huge, about 300 animals competing in the costume contest and participating in the parade. And who loves Livermush more than dogs? They love Livermush. So it made sense to have mutts, music, and mush all at the same time.
Yeah, I love it. What a great festival here in Shelby, North Carolina. And it was all about Livermush, music, and the mutts. The dogs are fantastic. This is a great one to add to your schedule.
The American Legion World Series has become a summer tradition in the Carolinas. More than 4,000 American Legion Post teams across the country compete for a chance to travel to Shelby, North Carolina for the multi-day, patriotic, fun-filled American Legion World Series. Make this great American event part of your family tradition. Learn more at AmericanLegionWorldSeries.com.
Modern urban living with small-town charm just minutes from Charlotte. Welcome to the Mill on Main, a new luxury apartment community uniquely set in a refurbished cotton mill in downtown Waxhaw. Inside, you'll find exposed brick, soaring ceilings, and top-of-the-line appliances. Outside, swim in the resort-style pool and then relax by the fire pits. Leave the car and walk to restaurants, markets, shopping, and more. The Mill on Main.
Wilkes County is home to numerous annual festivals and local attractions. Plan your visit and stay at the Hampton Inn or Holiday Inn Express, which is also home to the Yadkin Valley Event Center. Both locations offer beautifully appointed guest rooms and a great variety of amenities, including pools, fitness centers, and meeting space. Each hotel is conveniently located within minutes from all Wilkes County has to offer.
Hey, Caleb.
Man, thanks
How are
for
you?
coming by. This is where my wife and I stay during the summer when we work on Liberty Mountain.
Well, I love visiting your summer home.
Yeah, so this is a great place. This is the Colonel Hambright homestead.
Right.
Colonel Hambright was a leading commander at the actual Battle of Kings Mountain, and his story is incredible. And it's when you walk on these boards and you can feel the spirit of the Revolution, I think, in this place. It's cool.
Oh, what a treat. Can't help but to imagine this helps you get your mind into the spirit of the play you're directing.
Oh, it sure does.
Yeah, well, that's fantastic.
I met Caleb when he was about 10 years old. He was in one of my plays in Lenoir. And I was quite taken with his performance on stage. And I told him after the play, I said, now I have another role for you when you get a little bit older. Well, about 7 years after that, he was in Dairy Queen Days at the same theater. And I've just followed Caleb all along because I sensed right from the get-go that he was a special person and that he was passionate about theater. So I've just followed his career. I consider him one of my best friends, and I have learned an awful lot from him about theater. Watching him work makes me a better playwright. And I think we're a pretty good team. You know, we talk about script and we talk about casting and everything. But Caleb is the most complete theater person I know. And to be that and to be as young as he is just, it's incredible.
Yeah, let's talk about Liberty Mountain. Let's talk about the play.
Sure.
How you became involved.
Well, through Bob Inman, we had worked on one of his plays when I was very young, and he met me and we just became lunch buddies. And one day he said, I'm working on this play in Kings Mountain, are you interested? And at the time I was working on a Revolutionary War drama in Boone, Horn in the West.
Right.
And I said, well, I'm familiar with the Battle of Kings Mountain and I'd love to talk more. And we met with the folks here in town and we hit it off and it just became a thing.
There was a group here in Kings Mountain several years ago who were interested in reviving the story on stage. There had been a production back in the 1950s that included the Battle of Kings Mountain, but they wanted a modern version. So they were actually at this theater doing one of my other plays. And they liked it and liked my work, and so they asked me if I would be interested in writing a play about the Battle of Kings Mountain, and that's how it started. A very dedicated group of local citizens interested in their history, dedicated to their community, wanted to preserve this and let future generations know how important it was and what it means to this community.
Caleb, you have a lot of responsibility in bringing this performance to life. But you're not alone. Your wife also participates.
Yeah.
Tell us about the wardrobe and how she's bringing that to life.
Being able to work with my wife is the coolest thing ever. So many people don't get to work with their spouse. They come home and say, what did you do today? Well, we know because we spend the whole day together. And she's really a brilliant genius at what she does with weaving fabric to tell a story. Her team, they've worked together to handcraft a ton of costume pieces for this show. Hunting frocks, leggings that are wrapped around historically accurate, they're called gaiters. These are things that I never even knew before. And so she's researched tirelessly and sewed her fingers to the bone several times just working to make this show come to life. But when you see everyone on stage together, she's really painted a beautiful picture through clothing, and it's all historically accurate. It's breathtaking to see.
Tell me about the weapons, the guns and the knives. Who handles all that?
Sure, so we have a whole team that works with the weaponry during the show. We work indoors, and so it's incredibly important for the safety of our performers and our audience that we make sure we cross all of our T's and dot our I's. And so all of the people that work with weaponry, this is what they've trained in, it's what they're passionate about, and we have very strict procedures as to how firearms are handled, especially indoors. But we work with muskets. We actually have some shotguns that have been dressed up to look like a musket that you might see during 1780, and these ensure safety and clear firing lanes. We work each battle scene, we run it before the audience even comes in. This is called a fight call, and that's run by our fight captain, who's one of my friends, and he's certified through the Society of American Fight Directors. It's what he does. And then we have a weapons supervisor. Her responsibility is cleaning all of the weaponry, making sure that it's able to be handled properly, that it's in proper working condition, and that the actors feel safe with what's been given to them.
I wanted this to be more than just about the Battle of Kings Mountain. I want people to know the personal stories of the people who settled the Carolinas and how they got drawn into the conflict. So many of these were Scots-Irish. They emigrated by the thousands from Northern Ireland in the 1700s. And many of them settling in the South, they didn't want to get caught up in the Revolutionary War, but it came to their doorsteps in very savage ways. And they took up arms and joined the battle. We look into the lives of several of these families. We look at the choices, the hard choices that they had to make. And I think you really come away from this with a sense of what it meant to settle the Carolinas in the 1700s and to be caught up in the Revolution and to defend your liberties.
When you're sitting here at night looking at your notes or looking at your iPad, what's going through your mind?
I grew up an only child in the foothills of the Blue Ridge Mountains. I spent every day out in the backyard playing, using my imagination, climbing in a cardboard box. It was a spaceship, a rocket ship, a train. And so many times, whenever I'm working on bringing a play to life and working through scene work or paperwork, I just allow my imagination to run wild. Whenever Bob and I were first working on this play, he said, what do you think is actually possible to do? And I said, I think that we can do anything. And we sure do. We bring it to life on stage. But it's great and we ask the audience to use their imagination as well, to travel with us. And within an hour's time, we've transported them on top of the Battle of Kings Mountain.
Liberty Mountain is one of the most satisfying, creative processes that I have ever been involved in. Every year we bring in a new cast and crew and create this larger-than-life thing and entertain audiences. And we give a gift to the audiences and they give a gift back to us. And being able to do that, to tell this important story, to work around such wonderful, creative people in the company, that's a very satisfying thing. And here toward probably nearing the end of my writing career, to have this happen and to be involved in this is just one of the most satisfying things in the world.